Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome to the apartment homestead. Today, we're going to learn how to can potatoes. Join me. There are so many good reasons to can, and one of them is when there's sales on in the produce department, you could take advantage of them. And so that's what we're doing today. Potatoes were on sale. I bought a 5-pound bag. So get yourself ready. Now, hopefully you have an all-American canning pot or a Presto canning pot. Mine is a 23-quart pot, and it's going to take 3 quarts of water. So let's get started. First, what we want to do is sterilize our jars. Now, I'm really not sure how many jars I'm going to need, so I always do more than I think I will need, just in case. So let's do that, and then we're going to peel our potatoes and chop them into chunks. Okay? Join me. The jars are now cleaned, the lids and the rims are cleaned, but they have to be sterilized. So my water is boiling here in our pot. We'll boil it for about 10 minutes, and then we'll move on to our next step. While we're waiting, let me just share with you the accessories you're going to need. A funnel, a nice big funnel, whether it's plastic or metal, doesn't matter. Next is your little magnet. Then you will need your tongs. And then you will need this measuring stick. And what we use them for, I'll explain as we go along. Let's wait for this water to boil. Now I'm going to throw my rings in and my jars, and I'll use my magnet to get them out. Now, while that is disinfecting, let's go cut some potatoes. Now, while the potatoes are blanching, let's just go over the lid to our Presto pressure canner. If you have an all-American pressure canner, your lid may be a little bit different. But basically, the parts are this. This is your dial gauge, and this measures the pressure in pounds per square inch, pounds per square inch, PSI. And your PSI depends upon where you live, whether you're above sea level or not. So I am not above sea level, so my gauge is going to go to 11. So how do you know what your PSI would be? You can look it up in your Presto book, or you could also look it up online. Now, next, this is your vent pipe, and before you do anything, you always want to look through it and make sure you can see the light. You want to make sure it's not clogged. Now, God forbid if something should happen and it gets clogged, this is the safety feature right here. This black button right here will lift up, and it'll release all the pressure that's in the canner. Now, next right here, this is an air vent, and when this goes up, this basically tells you you're good. It's all, you did everything right. You're getting the pressure in, the right pressure inside the can. So we wait for this to go all the way up, and then when we're done canning, we wait for it to go down. Now, I'm putting this all in my words. You must read the book that comes with your pressure canner to make sure you have a very deep understanding of all the parts. I'm just generalizing right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill our pressure canner with 3 quarts of water. The potatoes are ready to go into ice cold water. So I'm just going to remove these ice packs. It's nice and freezing cold water. So we're going to start putting the potatoes in here. Now, you can add vitamin C to this water, ascorbic acid. It'll help maintain the color of your potatoes. Over time, they could get slightly discolored, but it doesn't bother me, so I don't bother to add it. And now we are ready to fill our jars. And I'm going to be using my Kerr, K-E-R-R, can you see that? My Kerr jar, which you know, if you've been following my channel, that I love my Kerr jar. Kerr jars are usually found on the West Coast, whereas the ball jars are found more on the East Coast. But the reason I love my Kerr jar is, well, watch this video and it'll explain to you why using the Kerr jar is very special to me. There's a great story behind that jar. Now, let's get filling. Okay, jars are filled, and now we're going to fill them with water. Now, this will show you how much headspace you need to leave the air. So I want about 1 inch. So I'm going to fill it right about there. Okay. This is a rack that goes on the bottom of your canner, and it will protect your glass bottles. And it does become discolored. Can you see here? And you can see here the discoloration. Don't worry about it. It has no effect on the safety of your food, and it's no reflection on how clean you are. You can scrub it and scrub it. This is not going to come off. Now, the instructions do say you can try a product called Cameo. I have not received mine yet, so I don't know if it will work or not. But it is normal, and it is just a reflection of the minerals in the water reacting to the aluminum. Now, the next 2 steps are super important. We are going to release air bubbles using this stick. You can use a knife if you'd like, it doesn't matter. But releasing air bubbles inside the jar is super important, very important step. So we just run it up and down, making sure there's no hidden air bubbles. And this will prevent liquid loss. Then we're going to take a cloth and we're going to wipe the rim. This is a really important step because if you don't do this, you won't get a good seal. So make sure you wipe this down. Okay. Now we're ready to put the lid on. And here's the rim. And you want to make sure that you just give it a gentle tightening. Do not over screw this because air has to be released. So it's ready to go into the canner now. Okay, do you see the steam coming out? I'm going to put my weight on top of it, and then we will watch the gauge. When it comes to 11, we start counting 40 minutes. Okay, our air vent is up. Our gauge is where we want it. And our little weight is doing its little dance. And that means everything is going well. We are ready to start counting down 40 minutes. Okay, 40 minutes is up. Turn off the heat. Now, the gauge has to go all the way down to 0. Do not touch anything. The air vent will go down. The weight will stop rocking. Leave it alone. Do not touch anything. Let it rest. Okay, it's had time to cool down and rest. We're going to take this off and open this up. Now you're going to open it up away from your face, like this, so that the steam doesn't burn you. Okay, here we go. That's beautiful. Look how beautiful that came out. Now we're going to leave it on the counter to rest overnight. Beautiful. And here is the last step. You want to label it and date it. So we have yellow potatoes, and we did this on 4. Use a Sharpie for this. And now we are ready to cover it. Get yourself some homespun or some gingham. Okay, and so I think I'm going to take this one and we're just going to wrap it up. It serves not only to look pretty, but it actually covers it and protects it from light. Okay. And there you go. Okay, so there we have it. A lovely process jar to go into your pantry. And even if you'd like to give it as gifts, when you go to someone's home for a visit, it's a lovely thing to do. Well, there you have it. You pressure canned your first batch of potatoes. Congratulations, you did a great job. Now, this beautiful jar is ready to go on my shelf, and it can sit there for about 2 years. Now, you probably have lots of questions. You can leave them below in the content area, and I'm happy to answer them. But also, don't forget, your instruction booklet that comes with your Presto canner will answer a lot of your questions. So, save this video so you can always refer back when you are ready to pressure can your next set of vegetables. Now, another thing I'd like to share with you is the last couple of videos I've been addressing the problem we're having on this channel with YouTube suppression. So what they do is they hide the videos, or they just remove subscribers overnight. So each week I go to bed with one group of subscribers, and I wake up in the morning and like 4 or 5 are gone. So we know they are doing this to our channel. And it's a form of persecution, and unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. There's no one to call, no one to talk to, they don't deal with it. You're stuck. The only way we can fix this is if you, my kindred spirits, help me by always checking to make sure you are subscribed. Look at the bell and make sure it's highlighted. Always come back to the channel. If you haven't seen me in a while, then obviously you have been removed and they're not sending my videos to you anymore. So always make sure. This is how we can get back our right to the videos that we choose. And just because they don't like our content doesn't mean they should stop others from viewing it. Now, I'd so appreciate it if you would share, like, comment. All of this helps the video get pushed out more and more. Seems like, a no-brainer. It seems like, it's no big deal, but it really does make a big difference. I'm sure most content creators would say the same. So somehow we're going to overcome this, and it looks like it's going to take a while, but let's remain steadfast. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here, and I really hope this helped you. I will see you soon. God bless.